once I got my opportunity.
I don't think a lot of people know your story yet. You know, you kind of still new on the scene. I mean, I understand you're a rocket scientist, or want to be a rocket scientist.
Aerospace engineer, yes.
Okay. So where does this come from? I mean, when did you realize that you were kind of special from an intelligence standpoint, and you wanted to pursue something like that?
I mean, I've always competed in the classroom the same way I compete on the field. I mean, my goal is to be the best in everything I do. So when I was younger, that's kind of where my whole interest in aerospace engineering originated. I've always been fascinated with airplanes, aircraft, and building and designing. Actually, in the 7th grade, my mom took me to a Tuskegee Airmen camp. So we all know Tuskegee Airmen, World War II. So they have camps, around the Southeast every year. So one of the field trips we had, we went to Delta Base in Atlanta, where we were able to see and understand how, Delta, a big airliner, how they manufacture their planes and everything. So that was huge. That was one instrumental step. Still going through high school, and I took physics and everything. So that kind of grew my fascination. Then I had the internship this past summer at Pratt & Whitney. So that kind of all the combination of all those various experiences have grown my fascination over the years.
What did you do? Have the day where you wish that the conversation would be more Dobbs, the football player, as opposed to Dobbs, the football player, and aerospace engineering major?
No, I mean, I think that's great that it shows, my efforts on and off the field. That, I'm not just, one-dimensional. I have my football accomplishments, I have my classroom accomplishments, I have my community accomplishments. So I think it's great. That's what my parents always instilled in me, to not just be known as one thing, to be not known as a lot of things, but to be diverse. And I think that shows just how I am, my mentality, and just how I approach things.
What did you do during the internship? What were the highlights?
So I worked on an F-135 engine, which are on the new F-35 planes. I'm not sure if you guys heard of them, but I mean, they're coming out. Actually they're already manufactured, but they'll be war ready very soon, and our Navy, military, and Marines will be using them. And they're, the futuristic planes that you see that can hover and just land and take off, all this stuff. So I worked on testing that engine with a test engineer group at Pratt & Whitney. So it was a great experience during the month of May.
Did you try to fly the plane here?
I tried to fly the plane. They actually let me run the engine. I don't know if I can say that, but I ran the engine and it did not malfunction.
Have you flown before?
I have not. Well, I did briefly, a co-piloting thing back after that camp. They always have, like fly with a pilot weekend on that Saturday. So briefly, but that's something I want to do someday. I mean, obviously not now, but someday down the road.
What's Jones say about you're going to try to fly the plane here?
Fly the plane here? Oh, I was looking. I mean, hey, the pilot went down. I was next in line. Don't worry.
One of the classes you took in the spring, I think, was thermodynamics.
I took that last fall. Yes, sir.
How would you explain what that is to a lay person?
Thermodynamics is a study of heat flow and heat transfer. So, I guess, any type of process where heat is being transferred from one source to the next. That's the study of thermodynamics.
You're obviously a Georgia guy. That's Georgia and Florida seem like a home that you got to get. But being an Atlanta guy, is that the game that you just want to get to see the tide turn?
For what game?
Georgia, Tennessee.
Georgia, Tennessee. Georgia, Tennessee. Okay.
Well, I was saying Tennessee. I mean, Georgia and Florida are both.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Tennessee hasn't gotten past here lately.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, obviously, in the past is the past. Can't regret the past, but we're working on moving forward. So, I mean, as I've said, we won't win every game when we step on the field. So, we'll cross those bridges when we come. We're focusing on game one right now, though.
Well, what do you say when an opponent like yesterday says that beating Tennessee is a tradition?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a tradition. I mean, a new season. I mean, this is a new season, so anything goes at this point. There's a lot of changes going on within college football, so I'm excited for this season. I'm excited to play everyone on our schedule this year.
Josh, I know you're not in the moral victory or anything like that. Again, getting back to last year's Georgia game, that y'all were heavy underdogs in that contest, came very close to pulling it out. Can y'all kind of look back at that way and maybe look at that as maybe in some way helping y'all turn y'all season and getting that confidence back?
I mean, yeah, we learned a lot from that game. We learned a lot from, every time someone field, they're always learning opportunities that you have, whether it's a win or a loss. So we learned a lot from that game. I mean, obviously, what we did last year has no impact on what we do this year. So we'll get to Georgia when we get there.
What sort of career avenues does aerospace engineering open up? Like, what do you see yourself doing with that sort of degree after college?
I mean, my ultimate goal has been, building and designing airplanes and going into that field. I mean, it was great with my internship. It kind of showed me what that field has to offer. I'm also getting a business minor, so I can go into, stuff as in, actually running businesses. I just understand not just the engineering side of things, but the business side and the business approach and managing and everything. So I mean, Pratt & Whitney really opened my opportunities. There's a lot of growing companies, across the world, really, in that field. So it's definitely an exciting field.
What was it about? What's the biggest difference between the way you prepared last offseason and the way you're preparing this offseason?
I mean, I wouldn't say there's a difference. I still have the same mentality. I know various things that I need to work on to continue to improve, and I've attacked that every day. I've stepped on the field. I have my list of things that I want to work on each day, what throws I want to get, who I want to get throws with, and everything. So I've kind of always been like that. Always have had a plan, and always have known how to attack that plan.
Do you feel a young core starting to build here at Tennessee? Young players?
I mean, definitely. I mean, having, the youth that we had played last year and how we finished the season and those valuable reps that they were able to get last year will really help us moving this year. I mean, in our receiving core, we have a graduated receiver in the 2 years I've been there and going into this year. So, I mean, that youth is growing up, and that will definitely help us moving forward.
As you started to take more advanced classes like thermodynamics, has it been difficult? How difficult has it been to maintain that and being a starting quarterback?
It's kind of something, I've gotten accustomed to. I've always, been ahead in the classroom, even through high school and middle school. So at this point, it's kind of, second nature to me. Actually, going into my senior year as going to my third year on campus, so in a 5-year major. So it's kind of, rewarding. Obviously, there's difficult classes, but, that just comes with it. I chose the major I wanted to be in because I wanted to push myself.
What was it about airplanes that kind of captured your imagination in the first place, and why were you fascinated with it from the beginning?
I mean, I feel like when you look at the airplane, you look at something that's several tons heavy, and you're like, how does that get off the ground? So I think that's like kind of, the first fascination that came down once I started understanding that, just, obviously just, how the engine works, various types of planes, types of engines, why they're used, stuff like that.
Are you a fan, like, structurally of any planes from the past? Like, are you an SR-71 buff?
Yeah, I mean, that was actually made by Pratt & Whitney. Actually, it was very interesting. My mentor, Pratt & Whitney, was a Tennessee grad, and so he worked on that engine. So he kind of, talked me through that, talked me through, it's not efficient at, at normal atmosphere, but when it gets up in the air, higher atmosphere, how it's efficient, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I know a lot of various types of models, I guess.
Josh Dobbs says he wants you to be a CEO type quarterback. What does that mean to you?
I mean, when you think of a CEO, you think of a CEO of a company. A CEO is the person who runs the company, involved in everything of the company, in the company, outside the company. They have to motivate people within the company below them to succeed, to help the company be successful. So that's my job as the quarterback. I'm the CEO of the team. I embrace that. My goal is to motivate, lead my team so we have the best team possible and the best product possible coming up this fall.
Does that mean the buck stops at the quarterback?
What do you mean by that?
Did it ultimately rests on you?
I mean, I wouldn't say success rests on me. It's a team game at the end of the day. So I only can impact as much as I can. If I throw a ball, I can't impact the catch. I can't impact what other people are doing at a specific moment. But I can teach them, and I can put them in those situations prior to the game so that they can be successful when games come around.
How many of your opponents know about kind of your off-field presence? I mean, is it ever kind of trash talk fodder for
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna say. You're smart, like. Okay, thanks. Like, how much you can say about that? Yeah.
How much do your teammates give you grief about it during workouts?
They're like always like Astro, all this stuff. It's funny though. They definitely play around with it, but I mean they understand the time and my dedication to my work and things that I love. So they definitely respect that, and I respect that.
Cam said you're not afraid to kind of give it back to them. Are you
oh no, they know they're gonna get something back, and they try to say something smart to me. So it's fun.